Good morning, everyone. It's Christina from Christina's Art Corner. Today I am going to do a gouache in the Eriy Tale 1 coloring book. And then the color palette that I want to use is number 22 out of Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cubes. So here are our colors to work with. So we have that as our guide, and I'll try to put that somewhere safe away from paint. Okay, maybe I could put it here. I just don't want water and stuff to get on it. And I have done some mixes because I didn't have the exact colors, so I did go ahead and do some mixing, and here is what I came up with. So, and then along the lines of the blue, I also thought we would do the Arteza Pearl gouaches to give us some little shimmer and shine, and that's in Midnight. I also have one in green, which is the Cactus Green from Arteza, so that's a metallic also we have. And then there is a Pearl Apricot, which is this one here, and a gold, which is this one here. Now the other color that I have considered, actually this one I just did a swatch of because this was carmine, and I should have known, of course, it was going to have too much pink in it, so that one's out. Although it wouldn't go so badly with the rest of the colors, but in order to get a closer orange, or orange, however you like to say, I wound up mixing a primary red Winsor & Newton with a medium yellow, and that's these here. And then for a twist, I found this dandelion color, and it winds up being kind of a chartreuse, but I thought at a pinch, if I run out of variation of color, that I could use that in some of the greenery, since I've got basically these two colors and the metallic. I figured that would be a nice medium either between the green and the yellows. That's just my thought process. These are what I have, so I'm going to start out with my blue. All right. And as far as the design goes, I think I'll just leave that here so I can see my colors. If we want a black, as far as any accenting towards the end, we always have the black, and I'm just going to keep that to the side. So let's get started. I'm going to try to do a bigger batch and move quickly on the blue. And I'm going to get you in here and then make sure that I press play. Oh, I really need to do some bloopers on this channel. It's been recommended. I'm taking it under advisement because I'm full of them. Okay, so I need to flatten here. I hope that doesn't obstruct your view too much, but I'm going to do the blue in this diagonal here because I figure I have a lot of leaves and probably things I want to make green and gold and orange within the elements. So let's go for it. Let's see what we do here. All right, moment of truth. I'm going to start out with that and see what that comes up with. Okay. All right, let's do this. I'm going in the corner first. I may need a smaller brush for some of it. Now, one of my concerns is getting in all the details prior to having it dry. That first bit already dried. Now, I may decide to speed you up just so that you don't have to sit here and watch me paint through all these details. But until I speed it up, I wonder how you all are doing, what you're coloring, what you've been up to. I also want to make sure this is as flat as it can be too. I don't want any lumps and bumps. Where I'm going to eat up the time is these circle details. I can see that. Painting is generally very relaxing for me. There is definitely a difference doing it on camera. Especially with a time crunch with the medium. I do know that I wanted to ask if everyone is feeling fall vibes, minus Australia, because you're into your spring now, eh? Some of you may have noticed there was a, I don't know, a couple days ago, I wound up doing 3 matchstick mouse, coloring 3 matchstick mouse illustrations in a day. I even waited the next day to post the 3rd one because I felt bad because I was tagging for matchstick mouse color along and I felt bad putting 3 in a row, so I did 2 and then I waited till the next day. It's funny. But I thoroughly enjoy using Neocolor 2s. You can even get away with not doing pencils over, but you can put pencils over if you like. But you can actually, now I have the 40 set and then some stragglers. I did order some here recently. If you watched my the last Temu haul I'm doing on my channel, my last video said that I bought a container and I put my Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s in there, and it was nice to go through them because I was able to see maybe what colors I might want to buy open stock, because I could see what I was missing when I was doing my matchstick mouse also. I think also for this small detailing, like the really thin stems on these flowers, I may come back and use a gel pen. Yesterday I had to do some blood work and I stopped by Dollar Tree on my way home, and I'd heard about the Jot gel pens, and I thought, well, for $1, you know, let's go. I wasn't ready to come home yet since I just given blood and she had trouble finding a vein. So I decided I had an excuse to go shopping. I was traumatized by needles. Oh, isn't it awful when they go in and dig? I don't know if any of you have that issue where you go to a lab and they wind up digging if you have deep rolling veins. That can be a common thing. Sometimes I go there, I go to Quest. Sometimes I go there and I get somebody that can get it regardless first time. And when I realized that this woman was not someone that I had before, I thought, oh gosh, you know, you're gonna get stuck more than once. But that's okay, it heals. But in order to heal me emotionally, I went over to Dollar Tree. What can I say? Not much, right? Not in my defense, but I thought, you know, if I could find those gel pens, then it'd be worthwhile. Well, it turns out they are not $1, they're $1.25. Since when they decide that things couldn't be $1 anymore? I'll have to go over that. I just wet my brush a little bit, so maybe I could flatten a couple of these areas. But I also don't want to lose the opaqueness, so I think that was probably balancing me holding a brush. I am kind of a silly individual. They say when you have a tremor, though, it helps to... Things like that can actually help to balance out. It's a brain thing. So yeah, I did find the gel pens. I don't think I found all the sets. I found 2. Kind of reshaping that bow. But for $1.25 each, I thought, yeah, let's get them. So I'm going to haul those, not open them. I was thinking about doing a gel pen competition. I know everybody has their individual preferences in regards to gel pens. Honestly, my tastes have changed over the last several months. The gel pen competition would be fun to do. All right, so I thought that I would leave this little line here. I know I have to go back and do this part, but I just wanted some of that to dry first. So I'm gonna go in here. I've shaken out a little bit of my nerves. By the way, I get nervous even when I'm not filming, actually. When I start a page, like, don't do anything to mess it up. It's so strange how those things just creep in. I'm generally a very positive person, but there are times we can become doubters. Okay, we're back, and this is dried. The blue turned out pretty well. Now I'm going to make the orange color, and I think originally I said I would do that orange, that yellow, but I'm thinking these flowers here, I want yellow. Maybe I will do this in blue. And so I think that I want to go ahead and do the orange here and then do the yellow there. And I've cleaned off my palette, so we're gonna get a good bit of orange here going. That's my permanent yellow deep Turner gouache, and then a primary red, and that's Winsor and Newton. All right, start here. Okay, now we want to mix some yellow here. And these are my choices. I was originally going to go with the medium yellow and the Winsor Newton, but I think I might do the Turner Perm Yellow Deep. And I'm going to take a little water just to make it a little easier to move around, because I'm finding a little bit of water helps me get in there good on the details. Go bold or go home. Okay, I think we have our background done, and I'm gonna come back and we're going to do details. Okay, I am back, and it has been a day since I finished this, and I got to thinking, since the background is done, and I thought about this palette that we're working off of, and I happened to do some Google searches on some folk art, and I printed off a couple of examples where the yellow, orange, and blue are present, but also some pinks and purples. And on here, we have some other kinds of blues. So I was just thinking, in fact, this has a similar pattern here as this. I got to thinking, I think I might want to do gel pens to get this looking metallic and popping. But the first thing that I want to do is put down some of the hunter green for the darkest part of the stems. I did some swatches on some glitters, and I think these are the ones that I have settled on. I have some Pentel dual metallics, Ohuhu glitter markers, and a couple of Timu, and I think I might have a jelly roll in there. Anyway, you'll see when I get to that point, but those, I swatched a bunch here, and then I landed on these. Okay, so I think I'll go with a small brush. This is the Grabby's 00. So I'm thinking like here, 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 these lines here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some paint on my brush and start here. I have some plastic sheeting underneath. All right, let's start. Last night I was thinking, okay, oh, you're gonna do the whole page gouache, which honestly was my full intention, but as I started to look at some folk art online, I was like, we can go a little crazy with some colors. I think once I stepped back and looked at how bright, at least, you know, primary colors. Obviously I like colorful. If you've been watching my channel, you know that. But I was like, gosh, to go ahead and paint this whole thing with gouache was, like I said, was my intention originally. Not only would it take a really long time, but wouldn't it be as glittery and fun? Even though I picked out a few gouache metallics, I really want this to be a really fun page. So, I like the idea of the matte and the metallic being combined. boy. That tremor is appearing. I'm gonna have to be extra careful. That's another reason why I thought I might do markers, because I have a little more control when that's acting up. Which it seems to be doing. Okay. Now I think I might do a little mix and get a little lighter green. Towards the top so I have a little blend. And if I don't like it, I can always go over it. I think probably what I'll do, instead of speeding up and you watching me do this painstakingly with a slight shake today, I will cut the camera off and cut to where I'm done with the stems. I think that will be the best idea. So I'm going to cut off the camera, and when we come back, I'm going to be done with this part. Okay, let's start on gel pens. So I have these lined up in order from left to right. So we have our purples, oranges, greens, yellow golds, blues, and pinks. Now, I need to decide what's going to be what. So this is going to be very green heavy on this side. Let me make sure I don't obscure your view. Okay. So this has a lot of leaves. We don't necessarily have to make them green. Need to decide on the color of the basket. That's important. And whether or not I want to make these green here. And then what I'm going to use for this here. I do know that I probably want to add maybe I was thinking of a black glaze pen for these dots. And that I could do some black dots over here. I could do the dots black. So I could save the dots. As far as the flowers, I think the biggest thing I need to decide on is the biggest element, which is the basket first. And going with the blue, I'm thinking that could be a gold basket. I think that's what I'll do. So I have 3 varying types here. So I could do each square a different color, and then when I come down here I would have to commit to what I want to use. I think maybe let's do this basket. Okay, going in with a glitter marker. Okay, I'm just gonna finish going ahead and applying all the gel pens. I am gonna go ahead and time lapse it because it will take me a while to go ahead and fill it in. So I hope that will be okay with all of you. So here we go. Okay, I'm going to switch to some metallic watercolors. Okay, we are finished. That took me about 3 days, off and on. We finally have page finish. And I have to turn it all around so you can see some of the shifting paints, the metallics. I did go over quite a few of the gel pens because I just wasn't happy with the outline still being there. But hopefully you are able to see all of the metallic goodness. This was lots of fun. I love being able to use my paints, my metallics, and gouache for the first time in a coloring book. So I think it turned out pretty successful. I hope you have enjoyed a little chat, some time-lapsing. I will see you in the next video. Please give a like if you enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing more things like this here in the future. I do have part 2 of a haul coming up, so be sure to hit that notification bell so that you know when it comes. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Happy coloring.